Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Digital Talk Show. My name is Anwar Al Harbi, and I'm going to host this show until the end with my good co-host. Let us start with Yasmine. Yasmine, how are you?
I'm very good.
What have you got for us today?
So we're gonna talk about more about AI and where it started. And so AI, we have been recently hearing this terminology a lot, but
yes.
it existed for a long time, since 1956. AI was.
So now you are going to tell us about the history of AI and the applications, perhaps?
Yeah, in a very short manner, and then in every episode we're gonna go deeper.
Yes, you need to tell us about how to make money out of this AI. Mr. Tariq, how are you?
How's everything, Doctor?
Thank you very much. What have you got for us?
Well, really following on from the AI discussion, I wanted to see the use cases of AI, and that would be naturally in robotics.
Yes.
We don't have the robot here today, but our previous shows we've been showing a lot about mini robots, medium robots.
Indeed, that's very interesting subject. Thank you very much. So our dear viewers, that's a part of the show. Of course, we are having a lot of things here today. Perhaps you see somebody here in the studio reading a poem. Can you believe it? And I'm asking the ChatGPT to tell me an information technology based jokes for changing the trick. And if you see a dinosaur here in the studio, don't be surprised. Please stay tuned after the break. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the show. To be or not to be, that was the question. While ChatGPT or not ChatGPT is the important question. While that is going to be really ruling on our life, well, it is affecting ourselves. Let us see if the ChatGPT can remember everything about us, and can they analyze about our characters? Would we be able to use the ChatGPT without using the camera, perhaps the microphone, and I don't know about our fingerprints. Let us see what the ChatGPT, after increasing the memory of the ChatGPT, that's the last thing we would think of. Let us see. ChatGPT will remember what you did last summer. Well, what did we do last summer? I can't remember. Where did we go? Well, ChatGPT will tell you. Well, so this is very good for the people who are suffering from weak memories. The new memory features in ChatGPT is expected to increase productivity and enhance customer experience for organizations. I would like to ask my colleagues here in the studio. Of course, there is a big piece of news here, and it says that OpenAI is testing memory feature in ChatGPT, which will allow it to remember information about the user and past conversations. The user and the past. Well, the user different from the past conversations. And the company announced then it's B-blog, so that the company has ruled out that the feature for few free users and paid plus plan users this week. Now there are 2 plans or 3 plans. Of course, they want to make money out of this if they remember everything. But do you want everything to be remembered by the ChatGPT? This is the question. As you chat with ChatGPT, you can ask it to remember something specific or let it pick up details itself. ChatGPT's memory will get better the more you use it, and of course it will get better because this is the deep learning and it is teaching itself, and you will start to notice the improvement over time. I think this is a very interesting subject. Yasmine, would you like to have the ChatGPT following you, telling you and improving about your memories?
I believe this is all about, as it mentioned, they're increasing productivity, enhancing customer experience. So as we go, using ChatGPT for a long time, we might need some things and to pick up some old
memories.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to chat with our memories, chat with our data, look them up. So I believe it's about helping whoever is using ChatGPT to search better their data, what they did before and what they did
I would
before.
like to remember when I went to Bournemouth, I don't know how many years ago.
I studied there.
Did you?
Yeah.
I want to remember my teachers and my friends, and I think that was really a coast town, you see, on the sea. And I want to remember some, I don't want to say 30 years, perhaps, but I don't want to say the age. Tell me, you like this, Mr. Tar?
Yeah, so on the conversation of personalization through data and analytics, of course, remembering what the user said to inform a better decision making or decision output from the ChatGPT model, of course, it's going to benefit the user and enhance that CX or customer experience that we all like to talk about. So I think it's valuable.
Well, anyway, it is valuable. It is different opinion there, because I think it is everything is kept there in the memory. Well, it depends. Who is looking at it and who is sneaking to this information? Is this peer-to-peer secured, or is this, well, this is another question, huh? Google's, you like playing chess, Mr. Tara?
I do.
You do?
On my device here, digitally. I won't like to tell you how many times I lost AI, but I do play it.
And you do, Yasmine? You like playing chess?
I love playing chess, but I used to play it long time ago. Now I'm.
Well, I think there is a challenge now. I will tell you the big challenge. Well, that is going to be playing with the AI. Can you believe it? Can we speak anything about AI? I think it is really imposing its power upon us. I think there is something into it. There is something magic. Let us see what we have on the monitor here. Google's chess experiment reveal how to boost the power of AI. To reveal the boost the power of AI, or the power of AI boost the chess playing game. You remember Kasparov, the world champion, those days when he played with the Deep Blue, that is IBM computer. And I think, I don't know who won that time, but I think he was across one time, and then he thought that Deep Blue didn't play fair game. Can you believe it? The computer didn't play fair game. Wow, I don't know who programmed it, but I'm sure there was a big challenge. That was, I should have shown the picture, but anyway, everybody knows Kasparov. Let us see what we have here. It says here, by rewarding computers that combine different approaches to solve chess puzzles, Google created an enhanced AI that could defeat its existing champion, AlphaZero. They are defeating themselves in their, of course, the old version of AI, you see, because now it is developing very highly, very fast. They call this AlphaZero. So I think they are, it's very nice to admit the truth that they can defeat this one by themselves by using this. This is like nice chess, you see, the hands of those robots. And I think we are going to speak about robots nowadays. You can see, very nice. Anyway, I think that is one of the things which we have to prepare ourselves for it. And I also advise our good, intelligent students to go for developing mind games based on AI. You know why? Because if you develop, you can really put it online, you can sell it, you can do a lot of things. Our teenagers should go into programming these, I don't know, perhaps Python, perhaps AI, algorithms. These are the best thing for the whole of improvement and development of. And also, you can go to ChatGPT and tell it how to develop an application. Can you believe it? I think this is a really interesting thing. Would you like to develop will you try to develop a game, Yasmine, using ChatGPT?
I started as a software engineer, and I used to love coding, so...
Yes.
So
well, that's very interesting. That's very interesting then. I think, would you like to be security? It says here that, of course, there is a news saying that we have to put on it now. EU AI Act wins a fresh backing ahead of April vote. I think this is very important. The act is very important for everybody. Of course, not to copy-paste from them, but of course do some sort of customizations to suit our societies. But now, this very recent news, the legislation aimed at creating guardrails based on risk for the use and development of AI technology. Seems on a track for full ratification this spring. I think they are very interested, this European Union. This is the Parliament, I think this is going to be, and I think they are taking a lot of things. You see this? they are moving the cage from AI because they say that they are afraid of AI themselves. They are worried about it. European Union legislation that would set guardrails for the use and development of AI technology appears to be on the clear path toward ratification, as two key groups of legislators in the EU Parliament Tuesday approved the provisional agreement on the proposed rules. They are having some rules on this, and of course that is the EU Parliament Committee on Civil Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs, and also Committee on the Internal Market and Consumer Protection. Well, they are taking things seriously. I think this act is going to be the one which we are going to consider. Do you think we need one of this act, Yasmine?
I believe like what needs to be in place for each government is having the right regulatory frameworks, the right policies, the governance that suits like the strategic objectives of each country and each government.
So you think that is okay? And Tariq, what do you think?
I mean, this is adding to the conversation in the US government had in the last few months about regulating AI. It's quite a difficult one to really nail down, and also you can't really over-regulate, because innovation does not flourish in an environment that's over-regulatory. You need to find that homeostasis kind of balance between reasonable use, ethics, and innovation.
Yes. Well, I have something to say about Windows 11 later on. I think this is very important. I don't know what this Windows 11 going to do to us inside our previews. What's on the latest build? I think we have to talk about it later on, and I would like to ask my colleagues then, because all these are so I think we are going to talk about these versions and the new ones, talking about the new built-in. I don't know. We are going to speak about the Copilot, Yasmine. What do you think of the Copilot of this was going to affect our life?
I cannot talk about it.
You are afraid? Well, anyway, you are afraid of Copilot? Tell me. I think this is very important about it.
I mean, it's just quite, when I saw it on my machine, it's just nice to have it integrated with the new operating system. And I think it can really work alongside to enhance our organization and our productivity right there in front of you in your screen. So.
Okay, our dear viewers, let us move now to other segment of the show. Of course, I would like to show you one thing before I move to the next show. You see on this my screen? I will come back to you and will tell you more about this dinosaur. Please stay tuned after the break. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Digital Talk Show. We are going to another segment of the show, that is the artificial intelligence with Yasmine. Yasmine, tell us, what are you going to tell us about? Everything is artificial intelligence, no?
Yeah. We can hear all about AI these days, which is actually very exciting because referred to what Tariq was saying about the innovation. So it's all about innovation, which is very exciting to be living this era. And today, like, I believe we can focus on like where it started and the history of AI, because it's not recent, as I mentioned earlier. It started since 1956 when we had the artificial intelligence, which is like the field of the computer science that seeks to create the intelligent machines that can replicate or exceed human intelligence. And then in 1997, we had the machine learning. I believe also this, we hear it a lot, especially in recent technology news. So it's like the subset of AI that enables machines to learn from existing data and improve upon that data to make decisions or predictions, which also what Tariq mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And then we go to a terminology, maybe we don't hear it a lot, which is the deep learning, which was invented in 2012. And that's like the machine learning technique in which layers of neural networks, also maybe we hear it sometimes, are used to process data and make decisions. And then,
it's like the mind brain, the brain of the
yes, and then the exciting part of it, which happened in 2021, but we could really hear it frequently in 2023, which is the generative AI, or Gen AI as we call it. which is like about creating a new written, visual, and auditory content, giving the prompts and existing data using the natural language that we always use.
I think that's very interesting, because I think the most important thing is the generative AI, isn't it? Because this is what we speak about it. And
yes, and that's why AI became a hype these days, because we could use like the natural language.
Dialogue with the,
yes, and it's about also generating content. So it's a different experience. That's what we have. But all of this history led to this.
Yeah, it has to have a history. Without a history, you cannot go to this stage. I mean,
yes,
a development of some 60 years or more. It is becoming really very fast nowadays. Also, the processor, the hardware, the processors developed so high, so that it can process so many functions, trillions of functions and operations in a matter of seconds, perhaps. So that has also improved the performance of this AI, generative AI.
Let's see with what happens with the quantum computing as well, and then I believe it's going to be...
Yeah, I think, yes. And what about this, well, you have this slide.
So here, like, if we could see also, like, a lot of us, like, maybe are afraid of AI or hesitant about using AI. If we can see here, like, how things are evolved with what we use frequently now, like mobile phones, for example. Mobile phones, when they were there, like, also we could see them as something like...
A buzz.
Exactly. And then it took 16 years to use 100 million, okay? And then for the internet, it took 7 years to reach the 100 million users. For Facebook, because it's like fun,
yes, it is fascinating, yes.
It took 4.5 years to get to 100 million users. ChatGPT, it took 2 months to get to 100 million users. So imagine like the difference and how also the adoption has accelerated over the years. And even like from Thailand perspective, it's decreasing because like people are now excited about the innovation and using technology.
It means also that it is very greedy. The people are very greedy for knowledge and information and innovations, so that they can see some new tools for their lives, to improve their lives, as a matter of fact. On all walks of life, as a matter of fact. So I think the fact, as you mentioned, 100 people in 2 months, I think it is even less than that, because nobody was thinking. I think it is a turning point in the history of information technology to have such the generative AI or the larger scale, this LLM, they call them, the large language model. And I think this is going to be very important for us. Carry on, please. Let us go to... Anyway, what is this?
And actually, this is a very interesting report from PwC.
Yes, let us see it on the screen, please.
Yeah.
Handshaking with the robot. Well, that's interesting. That's a 320 billion by 2030, the potential input or the potential impact of artificial intelligence in the Middle East. Can you believe it?
This is a report that was done by one of the consulting firms that highlights like the potential impact. I believe there are multiple reports that highlight the same impact of artificial intelligence from economic growth perspective. So here we could see, for example, specifically if we talk Middle East, it's gonna be impacting 320 billion by 2030, just the impact of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And also it's gonna be increasing 14% the growth in GDP by 2030. So this is like, if we can look at it, how much is gonna be beneficial and impactful
for the economy, for the societies.
Yes, for the government.
Tara, tell me, you like these figures? Do you think this is reachable and manageable?
I mean, if PwC quote it, then I don't see why not. Top 5 consultancy.
This is very practical.
Obviously it makes only one of the pieces of the emerging technology puzzle. But definitely, you know, AI is going to help diversify, especially let's talk about Kuwait now. Kuwait Vision 2035. AI is definitely one of the emerging technologies we need to leverage to diversify, especially when we're looking at the Google Cloud projects, for example. So yeah, I think it's reasonable.
I think when you said very important thing for this Kuwait plan for 2035. I think we have to look at it one day. We speak about it. The pillars for this
exactly
is very important to focus on and to look at it, because this is a very serious thing. and it is very good for Kuwait future. So that this is a development plan, you see, for the whole country in all sectors. And if we have this focused upon and using, of course, the information technology as a leverage, as a tool, and as an enabler for reaching such things, I think we are going on the right track, because many people have established those organizations for AI and for gaming, AI game-based gaming, and cybersecurity. These issues are related together under the big umbrella of digital transformation. And last slide which we have, this is going to be, what is this, Yasmine, you are telling us quickly.
This is the continuation of the study that was done by PwC, which is referring to how much each of these countries will be making or growing their GDP based appearance.
Yes, focus the map.
Yeah, so if we look at the global economy, the potential impact of AI and contribution to the global economy would be 15.7 trillion by 2030.
Well, that's a big number, 15.7 trillion US dollar in which year that is? 2030.
2030, which is in 6 years.
Hopefully we can reach that year, and we can see this AI booming in our lives and all services. Thank you very much, Yasmine, and also Tariq. Our dear viewers, let us move fast to our rest of the show that is after this segment with the robots. Please stay tuned. Hello, our dear viewers. Robots are spreading their items and their existence and their effect on our life. Perhaps we can see it in the hospitals, as surgeons, perhaps, and in the education, as smart teachers, lecturers, and everywhere. So, Tariq will tell us all about this today. Tariq, the floor is yours.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I'd like to talk about one of the use cases for AI, which would be robotics. Normally we have a nice little robot here in the show, but I'll have to do that job now.
And Let us see this one on the show. Yes,
if you can show the screen.
Yes. Well, this is the little robot here. Yes.
Normally we have one in the studio.
Yes. Now, tell us, please.
So obviously, robotics has revolutionized a lot of industries, cross industries. But if we start with the most perhaps obvious one, it's probably industrial, right? You've always seen about automating, articulated robot arms to increase efficiency for factory production. Military, we've seen robotics in driving autonomous drones and other military warfare, weaponry. Agriculture, I've seen myself a bed of plants or crops, and a little robot come around and feed the plants, water them, humidity levels and so on. Automotive, self-driving cars, that's on the tip of everyone's tongue now. It's that car that drives us to the restaurant and back without hands-free.
Do you trust it?
If Google made it, maybe I would. And then we also, obviously, I'd like to really talk about is the healthcare. That's one of the most booming, I'd say, use cases for robotics at the moment. And really, robotics in healthcare, from what I've done on my research, is not there to replace the doctor. It's not there to take the doctor's job or the nurse's job.
No.
It's there to enhance that person's role. And we actually call this IA. Which is actually in intelligence augmentation. It's a long word for me. Intelligence augmentations, where the human enables the AI, and they work together hand in hand in a collaborative process. So I think there's room to exist with robots, AI, and human beings in a collaborative kind of workspace. And as you can see, hopefully you can see with the
Hopefully, yes, we can see. Yes.
Get your glasses on, everyone. There's three core.
We should put them in white fonts, but anyway.
There's three core buckets I feel robotics, benefits of robotics can really fit into, and that is productivity. We know it can increase efficiency, reduce costs, even increase quality over a human. Safety, of course, it does all the hazardous jobs that humans perhaps don't need to do. They can send a robot out there to do it instead of them. Human life is precious, as we know.
I mean, this is in the fire, perhaps.
For example, oil sector.
Yes.
A robot, automated arm drilling down for oil. We're not in the 1900s anymore where they did it by hand.
Especially when there are circumstances in the desert and this.
Hazardous.
Yes.
Exactly, hazardous settings. And lastly, of course, savings. I mentioned efficiency. Robotics can really have like cost, time savings, and also reduce less material than a human would to conduct that operation.
Well, I think that's interesting. Tell me more on this. What is this medical robotics? Yeah, you mentioned this.
Yes. So looping back to the medical use cases, I mean, we've seen it. Robots actually perform minimal surgeries with articulated arms. I saw on YouTube last week a man operating on a patient in another country. He was based in the US and the patient was based in Asia, and he was using articulated fingers, almost like gloves, to operate on the person. So I think that's really tremendous. In addition, it's not just operations, it's also rehabilitation. I'm sure you've seen where robots can help people in their physiotherapy.
Exactly.
With their bad back, walking from A to B. I've seen it. Even on my recent trip last year to Thailand, I saw robots cleaning the floors.
Is it?
I wanted to shake their hand, but I didn't want to get too close.
Better not.
Better not.
And also for those old age people, you see, these robots, when they come to them, they can help them, quite honestly. And then they say a new creature there. It is giving a personal touch, perhaps, some excitement for special needs also.
Exactly.
I think that's very important, quite honestly. And yes, I think as you mentioned, that the rehabilitation, the robotics, and this is affecting things, isn't it?
And looping back to what we mentioned a few shows ago about the way technology can really support the disabled and people with learning difficulties. Robotics doesn't fall short of the task. Again, autism. Having that person open up, perhaps with a robot, is perhaps easier for them than with a human. So it can teach them those kind of soft skills to use in real life.
Even in education, for educating these special needs people, I mean, they need some sort of continuous, somebody with patience.
Yes.
And because some people don't tolerate, these special needs. Unfortunately, of course.
Yes.
But with these robots, I think, with the fun, with the sound effects and multimedia, it does make an environment, attractive environment, for an education
100%.
purposes. So this is going to increase and enhance the education for those special needs because they see it. You agree?
I believe, because we jumped from healthcare to education, but leveraging the generative AI and the advancements that have been happening, this is one of the use cases I believe where AI will be heavily contributing, is the personalized learning. It's all about personalized because everyone has their own abilities. One of the cases about people with disability where they will be able to have this personalized experience according to their needs.
I think this is very important, Yasmine and Tariq, because quite honestly, we are living in this and we are witnessing everything nowadays going. And I saw, you didn't see this dancing robot?
It was on the show, actually. It was playing with the ball in a few shows ago.
Can you believe it?
I couldn't. Well, it's unbelievable that it could hold a ball. Yeah. I was pretty impressed, to be honest. I can't even hold a ball sometimes.
Then there is a World Cup, Robo World Cup, and this is
who knows?
Going to be interesting. And I read an article that says that perhaps in 2050, I don't know whether we are still there or not, but in 2050, I think these robotics, well, I don't know if they can beat Brazil or Argentina, but choose the team of these robotics guys will be playing with them, and because they are so advanced, they can be on the picture there, and then they can challenge those. Well, I think this is something really needs to be looked at. Our dear viewers, let us move now. Let us have a break, and then we move to another part of the show that is perhaps cybersecurity. Before we go to it, I will tell you something about the dinosaurs. Please stay tuned. Hello, our dear viewers. You like birds? You like camels? You like elephants, perhaps? I don't know. Perhaps you like crocodiles? Can you think of anything? Elephant? Dinosaurs? Tigers? Anything, any creature you think of, and then you can see it in front of you. Believe it or not. Would you like? Can you imagine this thing? And I think I will ask your opinion. Let us see what we have here on the monitor, and then we can speak about it for a while. Can you see this? There is a camel near this boy, and he's shaking his hands and he's drinking. I don't know, I hope this is a milk. Look, you see? This camel is eating. I don't know what he's eating, but I don't care, but still, this is very interesting. This is, well, oh, what is this? Can you see this? Very interesting. Aha. I would like to have some sort of an elephant. Anyway, this was a short video, and I would like you to get. Can you believe this is now we can do it in our laptops and on our mobiles, and we can have something. I think we are coming to the stage where we are getting to the, I don't know, magic flavor and magic augmented reality. Tell me, you like those camels, or what do you like first of all?
I actually had to go with it myself. I had to put Sphinx cats because I have Sphinx cats, the hairless cats.
Yeah.
And I was stroking it. I felt like I was really interacting, with my cat there and then. But there's so many more use cases than just the fun side. It's the productivity side. We've seen in banking, AR technology being used to locate ATMs, ITMs. We've seen it in fashion, for example, trying on virtual wardrobes, trying on virtual fancy watches. I won't mention the names. Sunglasses. No, because there's so many good names. But there's so many use cases other than the fun side, which is great. We can really, assist.
I think the augmented reality, quite honestly, is going to be really the future, because it has a touch. You see, now we can see a picture. Then this is with the sound, by the way. I mean, I was the other day. I have a training course, and I showed this one, and then everybody from the trainees just got distracted from me, and then for 5-10 minutes they were sending this application to their families, and everybody was enjoying it because it is a fun perhaps, but it is changing the atmosphere from something now where nothing in your area, and then in your room and surrounding you. And all of a sudden you can see these creatures walking, eating, singing perhaps. Mm-hmm. And I think this is an added really touch. This is, well, they call this 3D, perhaps 4D nowadays, but I think it is adding a value really. These softwares used to be seen only with glasses. You remember this, the scientific center here in Kuwait?
IMAX, yeah.
Yeah, IMAX, exactly. When you
remember
go there, you have to wear glasses so that when you see the dinosaur coming out of the screen or it is really like eating you, see? Because there is some sort of blend. Now you can see it without those glasses. Can you see the advancement of the technology, how far it got? And I think this is good. Well, I think I will create my own. This means you can also, you see, customize the creatures that is called, the objects. You can make them different, you see, the plants and everything. I think this is going to be very interesting one. Anyway, let us move, and then going to go to the cybersecurity, and this is going to be a very important issue. Last week, by the way, and I think going to this week, yes, I think this is what we are going to speak about, the cybersecurity. The WhatsApp, everybody uses it was WhatsApp nowadays. And I think there is a problem now. I don't know, there are 2 people in my contacts send me, please pay me this bill. I cannot use my visit card or my payment cards. And then can you do this for me, please? 3 last week, I think 1, and this week 2. And they are telling me, and then please, I'm really, can you press this link, please, for me? And let us see what we have here. Of course, understanding WhatsApp security. Protecting your WhatsApp account, of course. Well, WhatsApp security says there that it is end-to-end encryption, and the end-to-end encryption is very important. But of course, this is, I think, if it is end-to-end encryption, it means the dialogue between you, the text messages or whatever it is encrypted. But it doesn't mean people cannot hack others WhatsApp people, and then they send all the contact messages, and this is going to be really dangerous, because also although it is going to be, it looks weird sometimes. Some people, you never had a message from them for 1 year, and all of a sudden they are sending you to pay this link because they cannot. And of course, there is also, they're making a new thing nowadays. They are making groups. They are making, can you join my group? It is a link. The link there for paying the thing. Now, for joining the groups. So they are making really something tricky here and there. And of course, these are the security loopholes that says that what we can do. I think these are the security loopholes that we don't have really two-factor authentications, for example. We don't use it, and I think this is very important. The privacy concerns, we need to discuss this and brainstorm it. We have, whenever I show anything, I always think about the privacy side of it, because I am one of the people using it, my family are using it, my friends are using it, and we have to be a little bit concerning ourselves about this issue. Otherwise, everything will be open for everybody, you see. And of course, this is now going to preventing unauthorized access. How can you prevent unauthorized access if you don't know how come they came to your WhatsApp? And I wanted to show you, but because they are in Arabic language, I will show you later on and how they can send. Please send me this link on this. Two-factor authentication is very important. Security best practices indicate ourselves and our users, our viewers, the best practices for protecting themselves from those hackers. From those hackers go to some applications such as WhatsApp, sometimes coming to you into email, sometimes, I don't know, the Facebook, but still, it is hackable. Reporting suspicious activities. It is very important for everybody to report those suspicious activity so that the authorities here in Kuwait can know and take notice who is behind it, because they can investigate. They have the digital forensic. This is going to be from this side, from this country, from this person. They are the ones who know what is going on. Okay, then I think this is a long subject, so we are going to be phishing attempts on this, and also our dear viewers, be phishing awareness and common scam tactics, protecting personal information. These are the biggest advices for you for the time being. Take care of yourself and don't put your data on. Take the security measures as we mentioned it, or as you can read it from here and there. Our dear viewers, please stay tuned after the break so that we can move to another segment of the show. Hello, our dear viewers. It is very important, and welcome again, of course, to the digital talk show. It is very important to know what are the future trends for jobs with the effect of artificial intelligence and the technologies here and there, because some jobs might disappear from the market and some jobs might be created in the market because of this development, and the demand for those jobs become very high perhaps, and so we need to understand this in more details. Let us move to Tariq and he will tell us more about it. Tariq, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Doctor. So obviously AI can disrupt multiple sectors in terms of how AI can replace human beings, or potentially replace human beings, or how perhaps AI can work with human beings. As IA, as I mentioned earlier, that intelligence augmentation word. Hopefully we have the slide on the board.
Yes, this is the one
like
we
the
have,
viewers
yes.
to see.
So these are the industries.
So while it warms up the screen,
Yes.
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 Yeah, so it is a little bit complex at first, but hear me out. So if we just look at the green and yellow bar charts, so green being the potential for automation through AI, and the yellow being the potential for augmentation, which, as I mentioned, augmentation is where a human will work with the AI collaboratively. I need AI to say that word.
And the first one?
And the first one is the potential for automation through AI. So if we look, there's no shock that health, for example, has a potential for automation, but still has predominantly a human touch, high potential for augmentation. So meaning, in very layman terms, there still needs to be a human enabling that AI or enabling that automation or guiding that technology.
I see.
It's not freely on its own.
It's not a standalone thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to get.
So it is in the banking sector, is it?
So this is in the health sector. So if we look at the other end of the spectrum, we've got banking, for example. Look, we've got high potential for automation. I can definitely tell you from working in the banking sector, there are a lot of jobs that can be automated, mundane tasks, for example, data entry, checking someone's eligibility for a loan, for example. These things can be sped up or automated through AI.
And also call centers, perhaps?
Exactly. Another one is call centers. For example, now we have robo-advisory, which is a chatbot. So that's a really good example.
Answering most of the questions.
Well, nearly all of them. And if that robot or AI cannot answer the question, they can route it to a human being. So really we're looking at that dependency, especially in banking, on these AI robo-advisory channels. So banking is one of the use cases where we're also seeing, RPA in terms of accounting as well. And multiple data entry sites as well.
Yasmine, tell us, I think these jobs going to be affected and lost, and you are not worried about your job?
Actually, I was reading one of the studies that, get us back to the economic growth that AI will foster along with the social development. And actually, AI is going to be helping in the employment growth. Some jobs will need to be replaced, but definitely there'll be a growth in the employment. And I was reading that there is an anticipated creation of 133 million new jobs by 2030 due to the AI advancements.
How many jobs? 100?
133 million.
That's a big number.
Yes.
But that is new jobs in the new market with the new fields, for example, in the cybersecurity and the cloud and the blockchain.
Absolutely. So there is a lot of
data science,
new skills for this era. But as I said, there will be replacement for some jobs, but there will be growth on the employment from another side, which big fear for the people.
Well, I don't think big fear, but I think they have to be skilled more in some orientation. Don't you think this though?
So that was the second point I wanted to make. Obviously, you have to upskill or reskill. Simple as that. Your job may not be lost forever. It will just be transformed potentially. So if you was customer facing, maybe you're training that chatbot from a back end perspective, training it with the responses to get it right when it's spitting out that information to the customer. You can be verifying those responses from a back end, so training the chatbot.
Yes.
So, I think
it's a deep learning thing also, isn't it?
100%. So on the ML level, the machine learning level,
yes.
That technology will be learning on its own, but with assisted also human intertouch.
Exactly.
So through IA, and I keep mentioning that intelligence augmentation part where we can work collaboratively with AI.
But also that takes us to a very important point, which is where the government need to establish this skilling plan and this, as we may say, customization for the new skills and ensuring the citizens are directed in this direction.
I think it is important in every field, whether it is a private sector or government sector, they need to reconsider what the training paths are. These are new things going, new proposals, new proposed jobs, titles, of course, the skills. The job description itself is going to be different. And of course, when you have a job description, you have a senior analyst, for example. You have a senior engineer in cybersecurity. It's different from an architect, engineer, or anything. Because now these are the requirements. And by the way, they don't have to have a degree or something, you see. Some of these jobs, they need experience, isn't it, Tara?
Yeah, but I think actually Kuwait's already doing this. We have a cybersecurity ministry.
Yes.
And we also, there's been rumours about a ministry for AI following in the steps of UAE. So I think it's actually happening. And I think we just need to be patient and enjoy the process. And hopefully it will make Kuwait that transformative place where we want to be for Kuwait Vision 2035 with the upskilled Kuwaiti market.
I think this is going to be really interesting so that we can say that I think even in, for example, in other Gulf states, they established this digital transformation umbrella with the cybersecurity, with artificial intelligence. Interesting, they have established the gaming, AI-based gaming centers. And this is going to be really, you know why? Because the industry for gaming is billions, you see. It is going to be, I mean, every kid nowadays, it's attached to the iPad through games. And of course, this is really interesting, and hand sticks perhaps sometimes. And I think this is going to be really good proposal for the people. And I always insist that it is good. Tell me.
I agree. I mean, esports in Saudi Arabia has taken a huge, uptake.
Exactly.
And even in Kuwait now, we have esports, PlayStation, Xbox, all those good gaming consoles, competitions, actual competitive rivalry for people perhaps not sporty. Not everyone does sports, and that's fine. Esports is booming now.
Esports, you remind me, I think there is a big event here.
Yes, there is.
In Qatar or Dubai also. Yeah. They are having this esport.
Yes.
You like to do esport, chick?
I never actually tried.
Never tried it?
No.
I think I will tell you next time, perhaps on the show, how to use this. Did you have a headset? I told you about this headset in the head, and then it has sensors, and they play games with it, you see?
Yeah, that I like a lot.
Yeah, they call this a computer interface, you see, for gaming purposes. But I think it is more than that. It is, I just mentioned, perhaps in the
I
past.
usually do writing more than gaming, so that's...
Oh, yeah. Well, you need to have a break, don't you?
Yeah.
To relieve yourself from the pressure. I think this is very important. And of course, now ChatGPT can tell us a lot of jokes, but can you believe it or not? I think I need to read one of these jokes for you.
I need to hear
so that
one.
we can finish the show with a nice joke, because I asked ChatGPT, can you tell us, or can you tell me if there is something I would like to have a joke based on AI? Can you say? Tell me, now I asked this one. Yes, I think I will select for you one thing here. It says here, I asked her, can you tell me, please, the nice joke on IT based? And it says to me, why was the computer called? The answer from the ChatGPT, I asked her, give me a joke, and the question or the joke was, why was the computer called? It replies, because it left its windows open. Can you believe this? You don't understand. Windows is the operating system, huh? It is open. Well, it means the wind coming from the window open windows, but it means that. Wow, this is very nice, intelligent jokes. I think with this, I would like to thank Yasmine. Thank you very much for being with us today. Also, I would like to thank Tariq and everybody here in the studio and also in the control room. Our dear viewers, until we see you next week, bye-bye.